Veehavta Chamocha Veehavta Veehavta Chamocha Harini mekabel alav et mitzvah haboreh Veehavta Veehavta Chamocha Harini mekabel alav et mitzvah haboreh Veehavta Veehavta Chamocha Veehavta Veehavta Chamocha Veehavta Veehavta Chamocha Hine matol ma'onayim hine matol u'manayim hine matol manayim shevirachim gam yachad hine matol manayim hine matol u'manayim hine matol u'manayim shevirachim gam yachad gam yachad hine matol hine matol manayim shevirachim gam yachad hine matol hine matol u'manayim shevirachim gam yachad ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This is so exciting. I don't know if y'all are excited, but I am super excited that we are all here together for the first time. Oh, don't cry. First time in what, 15 months? Yay! Let me set this down. So I picked a special opening blessing that I thought might be nice to mark this moment. And then we'll join together in a Shehecheyanu because we really have to bless the fact that we made it and we are back together. So on this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace, and in joy. So if you're comfortable wishing the person next to you a Shabbat Shalom or waving to them or something, feel free to go on and do so. It's our first time in a long time. And let's say a Shehecheyanu, because we should be so grateful for this moment when we are back together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu שהחיינו וגיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
I can't get over that we're all back together. It feels like a miracle. It kind of is a miracle, isn't it? As we're all getting vaccinated, as we are all coming back to being physically in the same space after a year where we stretched the boundaries of what it means to be together. And we stretched those boundaries, and I don't think we broke them. I think we stayed together through some of the toughest moments, so some of the loneliest moments. And so we're back here to welcome Shabbos together again. We welcome the angels of Shabbos. There's this tradition in Judaism, this Baba Maisa, this old story that says that angels are not always so good, right? Angels are messengers. And sometimes the messages we need are not always the most positive of messages. So we're told that there are good angels and there are mischievous angels. My three are definitely mischievous angels in the back, if they're angels. Noah's waving. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. There's the mischievous one. The best kind of mischief. So there's this story of Shalom Aleichem that we welcome the angels. And if we've been ready, if we've done the work to get ready to be together, to get ready for Shabbos, for this Shabbos outside. We should have been having Shabbos in the summer out here forever. This is wonderful. But certainly today, if we've done that work, then the good angel whispers in our ear all week until we can be together again. If we're not quite ready, if we're still carrying the schmutz that we know we should be letting go of, all of the things from this week, from this year that is so heavy, if we can't quite put it down, the mischievous angel whispers in our ear. So we welcome the angels. Shalom Aleichem. We ask that they come. Boachem l'shalom. We ask for blessings. Baruchuni l'shalom. And we ask, because we know that they are trouble, for them to go tzetchem l'shalom, in peace.
Page 6.
Oh, yeah, we have pages again.
Yes.
There's not a button that I push for the, yeah.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem l'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sittekem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim,
So we will light the candles now. I'd like to invite up the half of the Hill family. Ginny and Hugo and Andy. Andy was how old is Andy? Oh, she was born like right at the beginning. Okay.
Wow.
Hi, come on up.
The 2 weeks. It's
The
like
2
an era.
weeks.
Yeah.
Can we light him, or you want to light him? Can you light him, you think?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik neshar Shabbat v'tzivanu lehadlik neshar Shabbat.
There's a midrash. There's an idea in Judaism. It's older than midrash. It's probably older than the Tanakh. It's probably older than the Torah. It goes back to the earliest moments that we know of there being Jews. This idea that before we are made, before we emerge into this world, we are split and we are incomplete. And we spend our lives looking not just for another half, but for all of the other people, for all of the other folks who round us, who bring us completeness, who bring us shalom. It's the idea that the jagged parts of us, the parts of our personalities, the parts of our souls that don't always feel full, that don't always feel like they work, that we sometimes wish we could sand off or round away. It's a reminder that these are the places that we fit together with other people. It's the idea of Lecha Dodi, that we see this Shabbat, we see Shabbos entering as a cosmic wedding, a wedding of our universe, a wedding as our world, so broken, so incomplete, so jagged and full of rough edges, begins to be rounded, but not rounded by taking away, but rounded by adding each other back in. So we welcome Shabbos, we welcome each other, and for the first time in over a year, we'll ask that at the very end for Lecha Dodi, as we say Boi LeShalom, that we all rise and we face each other as we welcome each other, as we know that this is the community that rounds each other's edges, that completes each other, and that works to make the world just a little bit better. Lecha Dodi on page 8.
Lecha Dodi likrat chala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Dodi likrat chala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmiyanu el hameyuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad L'Shem utoferet v'letila Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha Shabbat לכוונך כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם ניסוך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת מקבלה התעוררי כי כבר אורך אורי לגרי לא עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise as we are able, as we greet each other, as we greet Shabbat for the first time in a year and a half, all of us looking in each other's eyes.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם לשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
These Shabbos candles, each time I think that they have totally blown out, they come back.
They're trick candles.
Wow.
One's a good angel and one's a mischievous.
Leslie says one's the good angel and one's the mischievous angel. It feels more like the pandemic to me, right? Just when we think the light is gone, there it is flickering.
So, I know you all just sat down, but actually we're going to rise. For the Baruch Hu, rise as you are able. As we call each other to prayer, this is one of the prayers that you have to have a minyan for. So you have to really have a community. And we've been a great community on Zoom, but now we are in person. So we can actually be there for each other and call each other to prayer with the Baruch Hu. We're on page 11.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach לעולם ועד המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד.
Yibaneh.
You may be seated. All these words we haven't said for a while.
Evening, the evening.
Page 12.
Evening the frayed edges of our lives, Marie, Aravim, Amen, Marie, Aravim, Amen.
There's this idea with these two prayers that lead into the Shema. Ma'ariv Aravim and Ahavat Olam, that we're to hold two contradictory ideas within ourselves. The Chassidim described it as being like two pieces of paper, one in each pocket. On one piece of paper, Ma'ariv Aravim, we write, we are nothing but dust. We come from dust, and to dust we shall return. Ma'ariv Aravim, evening, the frayed edges of our lives. We back away from our lives. We back away from our world. We look at our lives from a cosmic perspective, from a divine perspective, where everything that we know and everyone we have ever known is a pale blue dot in a very big universe. We back away in the hope that somehow when we back away, we can exhale just a little easier. The things that feel so heavy, hopefully when we zoom out, when we move to that divine, that cosmic perspective, somehow they feel just a little bit lighter, evening the frayed edges of our lives.
Evening, the evenings, evening the frayed edges of our lives, Marie, Aravim, Amen, Marie, Aravim, Amen, Marie, Aravim, Amen.
And so on the bottom of page 12, we say these last two lines in Hebrew together, like a signature, like signing our name off on this idea, internalizing this smallness for a moment. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Amen.
So we don't just hold on to this one piece of paper. We don't just hold on to this idea of smallness. We don't just hold on to this divine, this cosmic perspective. We also have Ahavat Olam, which in a moment we're going to sing together on page 14. We have this idea, this radical idea that in a world where we recognize our own existential smallness, where do we find meaning? Where do we find purpose? And the answer is we find it in the connections between us. That if we are like small dots of light, when we come together, we become the constellations. We find our meaning, we find our purpose, and our obligation towards each other, our obligations towards our world, our obligations towards the past, towards the future, and towards ourselves. We are loved, a radical idea. Page 14.
We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love.
So we continue with the Shema. We're on page 15. And I spend a lot of time throughout the year working with the Hebrew school kids. We do services every Wednesday, and I always talk about the Shema. And one of the things that we talk about is the meaning behind the oneness. That we can think of it as God is one, and that's clearly what this intends. But when we talk about it with the kids, we talk about being one with each other also, and how our world so needs that. And it so needs this mantra of coming together and of finding commonalities. And I think especially after these last few weeks with, this last year, but I was thinking more about what's going on in Israel these last few weeks and how we really just need this blessing of oneness and this blessing of understanding. So that's what I think of when I think of the oneness of the Shema, is the coming together of all peoples. So we will join together in the words.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Continue with Veehavta, page 16, our commitment to live the best of our values at every moment of every day, when we rise up, when we lie down, when we go out. And I feel like sometimes it's the hardest of all to be the best version of ourselves when we are at home. Page 16. Veehavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshatam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafo beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru vasitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim le'Elohechem, Ahani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Oh, sorry. So I love memes. I don't know if anybody else out there, I know Rory loves memes because we talk about it. I love memes. I think they're fun and funny. And I want to share with you one of my favorite ones because I think it perfectly captures the Chamocha. So it's, what? Just go with it.
I'm going.
Okay, it says, I swear the universe can be divided into two kinds of people. Those who say, I had to go through it, so you should too. And those who say, I had to go through it, so I'll work to make sure that you don't. I just feel like this so perfectly captures the words of the Chamocha that we went through it, and it's our responsibility not to have other people go through it and to fight for people in our world and in our lives who still need equality and still need love and help. And justice, yeah, thank you. So that was, my meme for Chamocha. Chamocha meme.
Meme Chamocha.
Meme Chamocha, yeah.
I like it.
Danny.
I'm going to take that.
The meme Chamocha.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah.
But we are on page 18.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi Chamocha neda b'kodesh Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi Chamocha neda b'kodesh Nora tehilot חרה ובניך בוקי הים לפני משה מלכות חרה ובניך בוקי הים לפני מרים Hifada Adonai et Yaakov Ugalo mi'achazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai God Yisrael Siyahamba cooking and cuencos Siyahamba cooking and cuencos Siyahamba cooking and cuencos Siyahamba cooking and cuencos Siyahamba 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 cooking and cuencos Siyahamba 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 cooking and cuencos We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. We are marching. We are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, we are marching in the light of God. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha medaba kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha medaba kodesh.
Page 20.
So, I kind of feel like this was the prayer of the last year and a half. Hashkivenu. The prayer we only say in the evening. The prayer we only say when it is dark. The prayer we say when it feels like we can't imagine that there will be light again. If there is a light you can't always see. If there is a world we can't always be. If there is a dark, then we shouldn't doubt that there is a light. Don't let it go out. Hashkivenu. The light is somehow still here. Page 20.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Veehamidenu Shomreinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom Veehamidenu Shomreinu lechaim Ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Everything's gonna be alright.
Everything's gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright.
Everything's gonna be alright.
Everything's gonna be alright.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot shlomecha. Ufros aleinu Sukkot shlomecha. And cover us tonight with a Sukkot shalom, a shelter of peace for you and those you love. A Sukkot shalom for all the world.
Creation, over all creation. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. If this last year has shown us anything, it has shown us that the control and the mastery that we have over the natural world is an illusion, is slippery, right through our grasp. Shabbos comes every week. Traditionally, Shabbos comes in 18 minutes before the sun goes down, and Shabbos lasts for 25 hours. Until the next evening when we see 3 stars in the sky. When our kids were little, we would send them out as it was getting darker and darker to go check. Could they see 3 stars yet? Sometimes when they were really in a mood, we'd send them out multiple times to go check for 3 stars. But the idea is that we are on this great big rock in the sky called Earth. And it's the only rock, as far as we know, that we can live on. And it's a rock that we have mastered and controlled and exploited. And Shabbos is here as a tikkun, as a lesson, as a reminder to us that it is not ours to exploit. It is not ours to master. It is not ours to control. That if anything, at the most, we are its stewards. We are here and we are asked the question, did you treat this world as it should have been treated? Vishamru, page 21.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושם לעשות את השבת, לדור אותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותם ברית עולם, לדור אותם ברית עולם.
In just a moment, we will rise as we are able to for the Amidah, for the prayer that is quiet in the evenings, for the prayer of our hearts, for the prayer of being back together. The Amidah goes from page, let's see, it starts on page 23. It's so amazing having a piece of paper in my hand that's a Siddur. Through page 32-ish. 32-ish. So in a moment, we'll ask everyone to rise as you are able to for this moment of quiet prayer, this moment of quiet gratitude, of reflection, of meditation. But before that, we have Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, that for even in those moments when we can't pray, when the difficulty, when the sadness, when the complexity, when whatever it is makes our lips unable to move, our prayer becomes Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Please open my lips that I can have words of justice and words of tzedek, of righteousness, words of chesed, of kindness, words of chen, of blessing, of compassion, of rachmanis on our lips. Page 23.
Ya la 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 Adonai, Ya la 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 Sifatai Tiftach, Ya la 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 Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ya la 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 Adonai, Ya la 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 Sifatai Tiftach, Ya la 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 Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, La 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 Adonai, La 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 Sifatai Tiftach, La 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 Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, La 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 Adonai, La 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 Sifatai Tiftach, La 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 Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, La 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 Adonai, La 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 Sifatai Tiftach, La 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 Ufi Yagid, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, La 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 Adonai, La 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 Sifatai Tiftach, La 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 Ufi Yagid, שפתיי תפתח, יופי אגיד, ופי אגיד תהילתך.
Take a moment for private meditation, for private prayer, and we invite you to be seated whenever it is that you are done. Page 31.
olam chesed Yibaneh, yada da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, ya da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, ya da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh, da 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 da. I will build this world from love. Da 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 da. And you must build this world from love. Da 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 da. And if we build this world from love, da 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 da, then God will build this world from love. Da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh. Da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh. Da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh. Da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh. Da 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 da. Olam chesed Yibaneh. Da 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 da.
This week's Torah portion, Shalach, we have the story of the spies, as they're called. Scouts, I always feel like, is a better word. Spies makes me think of a James Bond movie. We have the story of the scouts, the spies. We've been traveling through the wilderness, right? These 40 years. In looking back, it's almost a perspective I think we can see now, maybe. Looking back, we can see that it was always going to end. We can see that it was going to be 40 years, right? When you're done with it, you can see how long it was. And yet when you're in the middle of it, when you're in this liminal state, it feels like it goes on forever and could go on forever. And so these scouts went off into this land that we had never been to, that our ancestors knew about and had shared stories of, this land that we were told was a paradise flowing with milk and honey. Milk from goats, honey from date trees. A land flowing where food was abundant, where everyone had enough. And so these scouts come back, and there's a mixed message that we get, appropriate for Jews with opinions. Two of the scouts come back. Actually, they all come back. All 12 of them come back, and they share the same story. They share a story of a land filled with milk and honey, with riches, with abundance, with enough for everyone, as long as we make sure that there is enough for everyone. And also a land filled with challenges, a land filled with obstacles, a land that won't be easy, a life that won't always be easy. They come back telling the same story, and yet they are as far apart as could be. Because for 10 of these people, what becomes called an evil minion, this is actually where we get a minion from. They get called an evil minion, and it's 10 people. So they say, it takes 10 people to make a minion. But they get called an evil minion. And it's not because they have a different report. And it's not because they saw something different. It's because when they looked at reality, they said, it is too hard. We throw up our hands. We say we have done enough already. It's not our place. It's not our problem. It's not our possibility. For two people, Joshua and Caleb, they come back. They come back with the same story. They tell the same story of the abundance, of the possibility, and of the challenges. But they look at the challenges and they say, we can do it if we face them. if we address them, if we see the possibility rather than the peril alone. And so this isn't just a metaphor for this last year and a half for us. It has been the reality for this last year and a half for us. So I want to take a moment to introduce some people who maybe we don't all know. So for those who have been coming to CRC for a long time, Leslie, and where'd Andrew go? Andrew's over there. Leslie and Andrew for a long time have been the face and the sound and the joy of CRC. Right? They literally are the soundtrack of our lives and of our souls. And yet for this last year, for so many of us who have come to CRC, who have found CRC, who have come to this community during this era of pandemic, you should meet Leslie and Andrew. And and similarly, for those of us who are back after a long time away, I want to introduce over here Autumn Dennis, our amazing director. When you talk about the gifts and the silver linings that we have found in this last year and a half, Autumn Dennis is certainly one of them. They are our halftime director of, oh God, it's like gone. They're the director of online community and advocacy, which sounds like two separate, totally different things, and I guess kind of they are. But it's actually a pretty amazing synergism. Is that the word? What? It is something like that, right? Synergy? I don't know. To combine the pretty remarkable online community that has built up around CRC in the last year with the thirst and the hunger and the trek for justice that is at the core of everything that CRC does. So that lives in Autumn Dennis, and we are so thankful for you. And we want to invite up a few other folks, folks who have joined the Jewish people, and from our perspective, our family right here at CRC over this last year, who we have gotten to know, we the rabbis, very well, but who only now I think many of you are going to get to know. So if you have joined the Jewish people and CRC in the last year, come on up. So Sage and William and Charlie and Alex. William, Alex, and Charlie today. Yeah. Sage, when was your mikvah date? When did? It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. April? Yeah. Right after Passover. And Rory, we're putting you on the spot. Come on up, Rory. And am I forgetting anyone? Let me look around. Is there anyone? Did we forget anyone? Ask them. I think we're good. Was Zoe, were you pointing at someone? Come on up. So we're going to give them a blessing, shall we? The CRC community to the CRC community. Folks here who we've gotten to know and love in this last year, these are people who love you and you don't even know it. And vice versa.
It has been a blessing to work with all of them during this past year. They are wonderful additions to our CRC family, and we're so glad to see you all in person and see that you have legs and you're not just floating heads, and it's very nice.
So if you are comfortable to, we invite you to rise physically, spiritually, whatever that looks like. And if you've got people near you that you feel comfortable putting your arms around, we invite you to do so. If not, we spread our love this way. Come on, Leslie, you're our bridge.
Yeah, we need a bridge.
Yivirechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May we continue to be blessed. May we continue to be safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
And may you all up here feel some of the light that we all feel when we see you and welcome you with loving arms to our community.
Yis Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And at its core, the word shalom, which we're taught when we're kids sometimes, means, Noah, what's shalom mean? Do you know?
Shalom? Peace?
It means peace It means hello, and it means goodbye. But at its core, shalom means wholeness. And so we have this blessing of shalom, of wholeness of all of us together. We say, Amen.
Okay, yes, welcome.
So,
Mazel tov.
Simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simin tov, Yelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael, Yelanu, Yelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yelanu, Yelanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yelanu, Yelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
So we take a moment. We take a moment before we conclude to fill our hearts with blessings for those in need of healing, for a world in need of healing, for those in our families, in our lives, in our circles, those in our cities, those in our country, those in Israel, those in Palestine. We fill our hearts with love, with blessing. If there's folks you're thinking of that you'd like to share a name for, that you're thinking of and sending healing blessings towards, please, let's hear the names. Thank you, Stan. Lissa Baker. Agnes, thank you, Autumn. For Elsa Huxley. For Alan, thank you. Thank you. Other names.
Andy Neiman.
Andy Neiman, absolutely. The whole Neiman family. Absolutely. Thank you, Margie. Thanks, Alex. So we fill our hearts for blessing. As we say in Mishaberach Lecholim.
Page 34.
Page 34. Thank you.
Anytime.
Misha Berach Avotenu Makor Abracha Limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Makor Abrecha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed is the source that calls us to be the healers in this world, the healers of bodies, the healers of spirit, the healers of our world. And we say, Amen. So we begin to conclude our service. with the words of Aleinu. A reminder, it's on us to do the work. No one else is going to do it for us. It's on us to fix this broken place. And it feels a little less broken being here together tonight. It really does. Hope seems a little more possible here. Page 38, if you are physically able to, we invite you to rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekenu la'liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגורלנו כחומונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אפס מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We'd ask that everyone be seated unless you find yourself in mourning right now. If you've lost someone in this last year, if you're in your year of mourning, if you've lost someone at this time a year ago or many years ago, if it's the yard site for someone you love, we invite you to rise or remain standing and ask you to share their names. For your dad, Sydney, of a blessed memory. 21 years ago. Wow. Zichronam levracha. For your lifelong friend. Donald, sure. Thanks for saying Kaddish for him. For Jerry Brown, of a blessed memory. Of a blessed memory. Alan, of a blessed memory. Thank you. Thank you. Jill, for your mom, Gail, as you're in the year of mourning for her. I'm sorry. For your dad, of a blessed memory. Alex? Benjamin Lippman. Thank you. Steve? Zichronam livracha, may both of their memories be for a blessing in your life. Eddie Lander passed away this morning. Ugh. Vicky's dad. Ugh. I had heard he had gone on hospice. Thank you for sharing this sad, terrible news. For your good friend. Say thank you for remembering them and for saying Kaddish for them. And we mourn with you too. Yeah, Leslie.
For Barbie Click's grandson. Oh, okay.
It's in there.
Yeah. And my friend Elaine Birchall's sister Nancy and my friend Roberta Gardner.
So I'll just add a few congregational names to those that have been said. Lizzie Pressberg, Louis Myers, Jack Oglander, Robert Fauser. We said Emily, Michael Kiernan, Father Robert Johnston, Orietta Cohn, Dan Sokol. Ethan Gonzalez, Raphael Berger, Marie Elaine Nicholson, Tucker Wright, and we said Ed Lander.
So it has become the CRC custom that as we are able to, we all rise, so that we literally stand shoulder to shoulder with our mourners, reminding them that they, no matter where they find themselves, are not alone and don't walk through this journey of mourning and of grief alone. And Barbie Click, the director of Trinity Food Ministries, lost her grandson today, Tucker, of a blessed memory. Ugh. So we send so much love to her. As we say these ancient words that affirm life, even as we remember those who have gone. Page 41. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'alam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei tekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha, may the memories of all of those that we mourn for, all of those that we miss, be a blessing in our lives and in our world. And we say, Amen. You may be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Ve'imeru. Amen. Ve'imeru. Amen.
A few announcements before we bless each other and head our own way. So it's going to get a little confusing because this is in person, but most of the stuff I'm going to say is virtual. It's still going to be online, okay? So we have Havdalah with Rabbi Susan and Rabbi Jem tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We have No Shanda, No Shame on Sundays at 1. We have Inner Judaism with Rabbi Jem on Wednesdays at 7. And our next in our midst is going to be this Thursday, June 10th at 7:30. And Paul Wagman will be interviewing Roger Goldman on keeping problematic police out of the system. So that will be virtual. We also have another CRC Cooks on Sunday, which is on Zoom. The guest chef is Leah Kosnick, and she's making a Jewish recipe of Turkish Izmir cookies and coffee. So it should be really fun, 10 o'clock on Sunday. Just a couple more, and then I'll be done. We have beginning... Daniel, where'd he go? Did it begin this week? The 4 Rabbis Unlimited Opinions? Okay, so Tuesday, there's no time on here. At lunch? 12, oh, there it is, 12 to 1:15. Mahara Roy Pickernese, Rabbi Jim Bennett, Rabbi Daniel, and Rabbi Carney Rose will all be grappling with some of the most difficult and controversial questions facing our community. I'll leave it at that. You can interpret that how you want. It's very detailed. And there's a whole list of Tuesdays, so check those out if you want to watch. And then the last 2 more quick things. We have a traveling memorial to Missouri children killed by guns in 2020 that's going to be on our lawn on that side facing Kings Highway. It's going to represent 46 children ages 0 to 17 who were killed by gun homicide in Missouri in 2020. And it's an outdoor installation, so you can come anytime you want. It'll be on like the Waterman side of CRC, I'm sorry, the Kings Highway side, and you can check it out anytime you want. And then the final announcement is Wednesday, June 9th at 7. We have what's called the other epidemic, the trauma of gun violence. Hear from those impacted by and working to address the trauma associated with gun violence in our region. And the speakers are Rabbi Susan and Michaela Sanders and Dr. L.J. Punch. So that, everything I said except for the traveling memorial is virtual. So,
Did you explain the services?
What?
In-person stuff?
No.
Oh.
Would you like to?
So the other piece, the in-person stuff now. This will actually work. We'll give different announcements to keep it clear. All that was virtual. The in-person stuff. Here's the idea, if it's confusing. There is something every Shabbat that is in-person and open to everyone. This week is a regular Friday night service, obviously. So next week will be a Shabbat morning service that will be indoors. And we ask proof of vaccination required. So only vaccinated people indoors. So unfortunately, kids under 12 are not going to be able to yet for the indoor services. But on any Shabbat that there's indoor services for Saturday morning, that Friday night, so next Friday night, will be a Tot Shabbat, which will be outside. Anyone is welcome. It'll be in the back. Anyone is welcome. It's not. It's for the immature at heart as well. Which I'm seeing lots of folks who fall into that category. But it will not be streamed, unlike the other things. Unlike Friday night and Saturday morning, Tot Shabbat will not be streamed on those other Friday nights. Did that make sense what I just said, or was it totally confusing?
Both.
Friday night next week is Tot Shabbat. It rotates. And the Friday after that will be a regular Friday night, and the one after that will be Tot Shabbat, and so on and so forth. Every Friday night is outside and open to anyone, exactly. And this is the plan. We're calling this phase 1 of the reopening. So this goes until the High Holy Days. High Holy Days we're calling phase 2, and then there will be phase 3, which is post-High Holy Days.
Tot Shabbat, though, is going to be in the back so that we can shut the gate and keep all the kids in. Jenny, what's your question? Yeah. No kids, all grown-ups at Tot Shabbat.
Yeah, exactly. We're still singing kid songs.
Yeah. So, you want to do it? High Holy Days are going to be here. We couldn't imagine getting more than 500 people together in one space anyways. So it's going to be similar to this, where indoor services will be vaccinated only people. We will have many more tents set up out here with some lounge chairs, and we'll have big screens, and you can bring, and we'll have chairs that we're renting for outdoors. So all the family services will be outdoors, and we'll have some stuff outdoors and some stuff in CRC. And we're also hoping to use the church across the street for certain things. So you'll get a schedule, but we're still kind of playing it all out and figuring it out. But they will be here this year.
High Holy Days are very much in flux, if that's not clear, yeah. But that's part of why we're starting all of this now, is to get set. Yeah, Autumn.
It's all in the calendar.
Okay, let's do a last blessing.
So let's give each other. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good Shabbos. And good Shabbos to those of you on the stream, too. We love you. Let's give each other one more blessing. I know we already did it, but come on. It's been a long time.
It's a twofer.
Okay, Leslie, you got to do one of these, though.
I'll start.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May we all be blessed and may we all be kept safe. Yeah.
Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May we take some of the light that I think I'm feeling, I think we're all feeling right now from each other, and may we bring it out into the world and into our week. Yisadonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may we all be together soon.
Amen. One thing I should have mentioned, and there will be details on this, Shabbat mornings inside are going to have a potluck afterwards. Everyone's vaccinated.
See me if you want to participate.
Yeah, Leslie's in charge of that.
Amen, amen, amen,
Amen,
amen,
amen,
amen,
amen,
amen, amen, amen, amen, amen, amen, amen. Shabbat shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom. Amen, 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 amen,
Shabbat shalom. Parking lot should be fixed next week.
La 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 la